future is here. It's just not evenly distributed yet. And so the idea here is we're going to see into the future by talking to some of these innovators and entrepreneurs. And we're also going to talk about how can we distribute it more evenly? How can we scale up and replicate the fantastic things that they're doing?
I'm co-founder of Apolitical, which is a peer-to-peer platform helping governments tackle the hardest challenges facing societies today, challenges like climate change, by tapping one of the greatest resources, also one of the most underutilized resources available to them, which is the information on each other's failures and successes. Crudely, we sometimes describe ourselves as TripAdvisor meets LinkedIn for policy. And we think there's huge potential in this. Government controls around 35 to 40% of GDP, so that's in the order of $30 trillion a year. Clearly, there's a lot of room for improvement, and clearly there's also no silver bullets. We need electoral reform, institutional reform, but if you just take 1% of that spend and improve it by 50% by doing more of what's working, less of what's not working, less of the duplication that goes on, you unlock $100 billion or more a year in cost savings or value creation. So the prize is enormous. It's early days for us as an organization. We're less than 2 years old, but the early signs are super encouraging. We already have public servants from 48 countries on the platform. We have 4 government or quasi-government institutional customers. We're backed by the EU and mission-driven investors from North America to Africa to Asia and, of course, in Europe. So there's really global impetus behind this. And we also think the timing is really important. We're looking at solutions that are more and more underpinned by technology or new business models or innovative financing mechanisms, so by definition can be shared more. And secondly, we've seen in the last year the danger of not valuing what's working, not showing what's working. At best, it undermines government's effectiveness, and at worst, it undermines trust in democracy itself, and no breakthrough solutions happen then. So this is hard, but if ever there's a moment it's going to work, it's now.
Thank you, Robyn.
What our company does is we are trying to make the sense of carbon capture that has been going on for a very long time. And we've been trying to make it accessible for companies, customers, in a form that they can present to their boards and actually get some projects moving. We are a highly technology-driven, IP-driven company, having patented technology on carbon capture. So we are able to capture carbon dioxide from the black smoke coming out of the power plants at about $35 to $40 conservatively at this point of time. We've been able to do some little better at that than that as well. But then really what we are trying to do is we are trying to put the business solutions together. And if you would see the major industries where we are trying to make a difference are really the people who do not move fast. You know, these are really the big tankers. If you look at the shipping industry, they are big tankers, but then they need a very small speedboat to literally pull them into the harbor. So we believe that we are that small speedboat with the right technology in place to put these, or to pull these these industries into the harbor of decarbonizing them and doing this profitably and sustainably.
Solid waste is a big problem, and technologies have not been developed into that sector as you see it in all the other different sectors of the economy. 30% of our waste is recycled. What it means is that you take the plastic and you convert it into plastic, that's recycling, carton into carton, paper into paper, aluminum into aluminum. But we're still left with 95% of that stream worldwide, statistically, going to landfills or some incinerators, but what is worse, some of it to oceans. This is a garbage bin made out of garbage. Not plastic, garbage. What you have here is chicken bones, diapers, vegetables, the pizza that you ate yesterday, the box and the hamburger. Everything is in here. Nobody in the world actually knows about this company except all the scientists and engineers that are involved in this development, and of course, our colleagues. So you're the first one to hear about this, and we intend to have an internet site very soon, regrettably. Life was beautiful, quiet, no no telephone calls and no fuss. But it's time to go out and to start spreading this technology, not only as a good business, because it is, but we want to create an impact, and we want to help communities around the world to use their locally sourced natural reserve, which is called domestic waste, and turn it into a new material that can be used to make the kind of products we use every day. That's what we do.
Thank you, Tato. I will do is just conclude the panel by just asking our three panelists to be quite brief, if you don't mind. But the question is, if you had a magic wand and you could choose one thing in the world that would really enable your business and your technology to grow to its full potential, what would be, and obviously your network, your software and your business, what would be the one thing that you would really change? What's the key enabler that would allow you to achieve your vision?
I wouldn't want any magic thing to happen, but I would want what is happening in this place to have an impact, because the more people know about the impact that that by living, they're living in the planet for future generations, the more future generations we will hopefully have. I think that people need to understand that we need to do something, and it's either consuming better, it's even being engaged in these type of programs, it's even buying products that are made with alternative materials that do good to the planet. It's having the impact of what we're trying to do here spread all over as soon as possible. Something can be done. We can do it, right? We can save this planet, and we can live and preserve our environment for future generations. If we all think that way, I'm sure that many beautiful things will come up, because people will start thinking also how to be engaged in that plan through business, through NGOs, through supporting groups, through behaving, right? So we need to have an impact.
If you can share this vision with everybody out there, I think there is no reason why we cannot push for that. We just started one plant, and today we have 170 companies who want us to replicate the same thing at their factories. We just don't have enough people to help us. So if you can first help us spread the word, and second, actually, just maybe help us take the solution in any form. You want to modify it, you want to change it. If you can help us take this to those people in different geographies, I think that is something that really want to see happen.
Mine is going to sound perverse, because there's demonstrably so much wrong with government, and I'm not a Pollyanna about it at all, but mine would be to give government a bit of slack, because we will never get the sharing and the innovation and the creativity that we see in the private sector that we take for granted in civil society if people are terrified every time they say something that it will be misinterpreted by the media, that it will be critiqued, that failures will be seen only as failures. And that has a direct effect, and it also has this crushing indirect effect that good people don't go into government, or they leave quickly. And if we can change that, I think we change so much.
Thank you.